All right, guys, the engine is all together now. Everything's ready to go. What is up, guys, and welcome. Wow, that's nice. Let's try that again. What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's a pretty exciting day. Like you saw in the last video, I went ahead and got my heads together. So today I'm going to hopefully get them put onto the block. But first we got to check piston to valve clearance to make sure that we're not going to have any contact anywhere. So that's going to entail putting the heads on. I was planning on using my old head gaskets, but I think I threw them away. So I'm just going to have to use some. Actually, I'm probably not going to use any head gaskets at all. Just put them on with no gaskets, torque them all down, put it all into time, and then turn the engine over 1 revolution. Take it all back apart, check what the clearance was, and then if nothing made any contact anywhere, then we should be good to go. Put the new head gaskets on, put the heads on, torque them down for the final time, and then we can start working on all the accessories and whatnot and get this thing looking like a full engine. So that way, once that's done, we can actually put it in the car. And then it'll basically just sit like that until I get an AEM Infinity V2 ECU and either a harness made or a jumper harness made, which is gonna have to be after the wedding, but that's fine because we're only 2 weeks from today. I'm getting married, so I'm super excited about that. But yeah, so for today, guys, we're gonna go ahead and check the piston to valve clearance and then hopefully get the heads on, assuming that all goes smooth. And yeah, we'll see how far we can get. All right, guys, so in order to check the piston to valve clearance, I know I mentioned in a previous video, but we're gonna go ahead and put some Play-Doh in one of the cylinders. We don't need a very, very big amount of it. Sorry, I was worded weird. We don't need very much of it. Just a little bit, just enough to cover the piston and all the valve reliefs that are in the piston. And then, yeah, we'll go ahead and put it together. So I'm just gonna work it a little bit because it's pretty stiff because I don't know when the last time this Play-Doh was even touched was. But I'll work with it a little bit. I'll get it down in the cylinder and then we'll get working on this thing. All right, so now you can see I got the Play-Doh spread out in there. It's a very thin layer. I don't want it to be super thick because I don't want too much of that to get sucked up by the valve and or caught around the cylinder, or around the piston in the cylinder. So I want to keep it as clean as I possibly can. So I got a pretty thin layer on there. Now we can go ahead and get the heads. Oh, I'm so excited about this. We can get the heads, we can drop them on there, we can tighten everything down, and we can see what this thing does. Oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this for a long time, guys. You have no idea. Woo! All right, let's get to it. Guys, we got both heads torqued down now, so now I can go ahead and put the timing belt on it, timing tensioner, make sure everything's in time, and then we'll go ahead and turn it over 1 full revolution, see what it looks like. All right, so I got the timing belt all on. Looks like everything should be lined up, so you can see that dot lines up with that arrow. Cylinder 1 at top dead center lines up, and this pulley for top dead center on cylinder 1 also lines up. So we'll go ahead and turn it over a full revolution, then take it all back apart and see what it looks like. Cool. That's 1 full revolution, so now we can go ahead and take it all apart and see what that Play-Doh is looking like. All right, guys, so as you can see, we have got a ton of clearance between the pistons and the valves. So we've probably got a good 1/8 of an inch. So yeah, I think we're good to go, guys. So now we can go ahead and actually put it together for real this time. I need to soak my head stud nuts in a little bit of oil. You're supposed to use the ARP grease that they send with them, but that is long gone. So I'm going to soak them in some oil real quick, and then that'll give me a more accurate torque, because when I was taking them back out, some of the nuts pulled the studs with them. So I want to make sure they're all correct before I actually put it together this time. So I'm going to go ahead and put those studs back in, get those nuts off of those ones, put the studs back in, and then yeah, we'll torque them down properly this time. All right, you guys, it is time. We're gonna go ahead and put the head gaskets on this bad boy and get the heads on it, torque them down for the final time. So after this, we're no longer gonna be able to see the pistons, hopefully ever again, because if we do, it means that they've either ejected from the block or we have other problems that we had to take it back apart. So let's dive on in. All right, the heads have been put on and torqued down for the final time. So now we can put it in time so it'll actually be ready to go. Got to put the water pipe back in here, then I can put the intake runners on, and then just go wild from there. I'm probably not going to put the intake manifold or anything on yet. I might even wait on the runners because I still have to set all the valve lash. So I can't put the valve covers on and bolt them down quite yet. But yeah, so I'll get the water pipe in there, get it all in time, and then I'll probably put the intake runners on, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, this thing is all the way in time. I got the intake runners on. We are making some serious progress here. I cannot put my injectors in. The O-rings on this, I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but the O-rings are pretty rotten on my injectors. So I'm going to go to Honda and get some new injector O-rings for those before I put them in, because they're probably going to leak if I put those in like that. So I'm not going to put the fuel rail on yet. And like I said, I got to set the valve lash, so I'll probably end up doing that next. And then we can get this thing going. So, yeah, getting super excited, guys. All right, you guys, this is a pretty good stopping point for tonight. I got just as far as I was hoping to get. I don't want to start on the valve lashing tonight because it's already getting pretty late, and that's going to be a hour or more job, and I don't want to get started on it and stop halfway through and then forget where I was at or anything like that. So I'm just going to call it a night. It's a good stopping point. We got the heads on it. And yeah, it's in time. Everything's ready to go. So next thing, like I said, I'm going to set the valve lash, and then I can go ahead and get the rest of it together. So yeah, we'll resume this video probably tomorrow at some point when I come back out here and get that done. All right, guys. Today I'm back out here. We're going to be getting the valve lash set on these heads. And then hopefully getting it ready to put everything else together to make it a complete engine. So I don't remember off the top of my head what the valve lash is supposed to be, but I've got it pulled up here. So intake valves are 20 to 24 hundredths of a millimeter, or 8 to 9 thousandths of an inch. The exhaust are 28 to 32 hundredths of a millimeter, or 11 to 13 thousandths of an inch. So I can get my feeler gauges, and then we'll go ahead and get started on these guys. guys, all the valve lash has been set, so now we can go ahead and move forward with this thing. So yeah, we'll start buttoning up all the accessories and get this thing looking like an engine. Alright guys, I'm just putting all the accessories on this thing. So I got the water pipe on with the AN fittings that you can see Mike welded on there for me so I can run AN lines for my radiator. Also, like I said last night, I need new O-rings for my injectors. You can see that. They're pretty much toast. But not all of them are bad, actually. Only looks like 3 of them need replaced. 4 need replaced immediately. So, I actually just got really lucky because it turns out I have 4 injector O-rings from that MDX that I flipped. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pick, get those O-rings off, replace the 4 that need replaced, and then we can go ahead and get the fuel rail on, get the intake mani on, and keep on moving with this thing. Alright guys, so I just got the crank pulley torque down to, it's supposed to be 180 foot-pounds. My torque crank only goes to 150, so I put it at 150 and then gave it about a quarter turn pass. Although I'm probably not going to be able to get it back off next time I take it off, but it's on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the belt on, and then yeah, we're pretty much done with this thing. It's ready to go back in the car. I don't have spark plugs yet, so I'll probably just put the coil packs down in the holes for now so nothing gets down in there, and then we'll send it. Alright guys, the engine is all together now. Everything's ready to go. I have not put my down pipes on yet, but that's okay. That can wait. Everything else is ready to go. So it's looking real good. You can see the fittings that Mike welded on there for me. And yeah, about ready to go in the car. So at some point I'm going to go ahead and get the bumper and fenders back on, put the headlights back in. I think I have to cut these down still, which is why I have not put the headlights in, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to check that, try to put the headlight in, see what happens, and then go from there. But that'll be a different video for a different time. I'm going to call it a day on this thing, guys, because it has been a long morning putting in a lot of work. But yeah, without any further ado, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the help and support. This channel wouldn't be possible without all of you guys, so thank you so much. But until next time, we'll see ya.